uninformed movie lovers, to episode 66 of the Uninformed Movie Review podcast. It is I, Danny, no hands needed to be stated.
And I'm Frank.
See, we took a cue. That's right, everyone. And before we get into the Yuletide, it's time to celebrate with a little bit of badassery. We're talking about 2015's Krampus.
It's naughty time, y'all.
That's right. If you're not familiar with which Krampus we're talking about, there are a lot of films called Krampus out there, actually, done over the years. We're talking about 2015's Michael Dougherty's Krampus, written and directed by Michael Dougherty, amongst other writers.
Not to be confused with Christmas with the Cramps.
That's a good distinction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I actually kind of like Christmas with the Cranks, even though it's kind of cheesy.
With the Cranks, I couldn't remember. I've never seen it.
With the Cramps would be even better, like the band or something.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, I'd like to thank everyone, new and old, coming to the channel and coming back to the channel. Thanks for liking, sharing, subscribing on YouTube. Be sure to hit that little bell so you get an alert when we get a brand new episode of anything, whether it's CLE or UMR. Every Sunday we've got a release for you. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please help us out with a 5-star review or a review of your choosing. And be sure to follow us so we pop up in your feed every time we got something new out. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Uninformed Movie Reviews also. Yeah. And be sure to follow Frank. I'll tell you his exact address at the end of the video.
Share my geolocation.
Yeah, just give him a tag. Actually, funny, before we even get into that, have you heard of this thing called Randonautica?
Randonautica, is that where it gives you like a coordinates?
Yes.
Yes, I feel like I've used Randonautica.
Have you?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I've seen it in a bunch of spooky videos on YouTube because of the weird things that can happen with it, but also could be planted. But anyways, apparently it's this app that when you load it up, it wants to know your location, and then you're supposed to be thinking of like what you want to find, whether it be like fortune or happiness or sadness or something weird or creepy.
My goddamn keys.
I don't know if it can find your keys, but then it's supposed to sprout like a geotag, a little pin, tells you somewhere within you, within like 10 miles, I think. And you drive to it, and it's led to some very creepy encounters. So might be worth trying out, but I'm kind of scared to try it out.
Do it.
Might be like messing with the Ouija board, you know? Don't know if I want to do that.
It'll be fun.
But hey, we're here. We're talking about Krampus. Have you seen it? What'd you think of it?
And we'll wait for your responses. Tune in next week to find out
what we think of it. Actually, let's get on into it. We'll go with our first impressions.
Yeah.
First impression for me, Krampus is a new yearly tradition for me for Christmas movies. It's fantastic. I think that it has the perfect amount of goofiness along with some really great character design, creature design, as well as characters. Adam Scott is great. I mean, they essentially took what I think is like Christmas Vacation and expounded upon it with like a dark Santa Claus and like demons and stuff like that. I have fun every time I watch this. Frank and I actually sat down to watch this a couple days ago. Fantastic time.
It's true.
I would recommend it to anyone, firstly.
Yeah. Even your Jewish friends, they might get a kick out of it.
They might.
Yeah.
They might. What'd you think?
I love Krampus. Krampus has been a yearly tradition the last, at least 4 or 5 years. I don't think I saw it right when it came out. I think I slept on this one for a little bit.
Yeah.
Our late co-host, David Pena, just kidding. He didn't die or anything. He got COVID again, but he's just not here because he has sweet little baby twins he's got to take care of. Got to feed and water those twins so they can grow up big and strong.
R.I.P. his podcast career. R.I.P.
He'll be
his
back
bank
at some
account.
point. Yeah, for reals though. 2 at a time. My goodness. But yeah, love me some Krampus. I can't wait till David texts us. Actually, when he's listening to this episode, he'll be like, "Jesus Christ, guys!" But yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head with this perfect mix of goofiness and horror aspects. It takes itself seriously the perfect amount. Like it doesn't take itself way too seriously where it thinks it's a straight up horror, because there's a nice thick layer of schlock right over it, which I really appreciate, and it's done well.
And some good like family dynamics
Mhm.
going on there. Very, very well played to where it's like believable that these people are a family. That
This
are-
actually would have qualified for our last episode, Dysfunctional Families.
also would, yeah, dysfunctional families, which you can scroll back and check out at any moment now.
Go now.
Go now. We'll wait. Yeah, I mean, we've got a great cast in here. We've got Adam Scott. We've got David Koechner, Toni Collette, the wonderful, wonderful Toni Collette. The kid,
Whose name is MJ Anthony,
MJ
who's in like
Anthony.
a few other things.
Okay. I didn't recognize him quite.
You know what? I didn't recognize him either, and we've definitely seen him in stuff. Let me pull it back up here because he has been the kid in quite a few movies. He's the kid in The Chef, or in just Chef.
Oh.
He's in the new Jungle Book, which I didn't see. He's in the Bad Moms movies. Haven't seen him. And a few other things up at this point.
I mean,
yeah,
he does a great job.
Mhm.
I think he does a great job. I think all of the kid actors in this movie nail it.
Oh, yeah.
Especially Augustus Gloop clone does a fantastic job. Whoever the one that's playing Thurman Merman.
yeah, I love it.
I mean, classic trope. But I think as far as big names go, that seems to be it.
But don't forget character actress Conchata Farrell, who plays Aunt Dorothy, who does a great job. She always does a great job wherever you see her.
She does. And I know Howard's wife, who is Toni Collette's sister, is someone who I am not.
Her name is Roberta Paulson. Allison Tolman.
Allison Tolman. See,
Yeah.
I think she is from some things. I'm not quite aware. She's also in I guess some of the Twilight Zone. Castle Rock, I did see that.
Oh, she's in Good Girls.
That's what it is.
Yeah, that's where I recognize her
Yep.
from. The numbers. Krampus, with its 98-minute runtime, has a 6.2 out of 10 on IMDb and a 66% on Rotten Tomatoes. Made on an estimated budget of $15 million, had an opening weekend success of $16,293,325. It actually came in second at the box office its opening weekend, just behind The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2.
Wow, that sounds kind of boring.
Right? Worldwide gross, $61,548,707.
All right, so it has gone on to live a wonderful and prosperous life afterwards.
Profitable venture.
Yeah, I think through word of mouth, honestly, because I feel like I remember hearing about this movie, maybe even from David or from another friend, but Jen being like, "Are you serious? Like this Krampus movie's actually pretty good."
So one of the things I read, they actually, the studios put like a halt on any reviews coming out before it premiered, because they didn't want people giving anything away. But one of the arguments was like, well, if you let people talk about the movie, more people probably would have gone and see this movie the first time around.
Yeah.
But I mean, hell,
what are you going to give away?
Opening weekend, they made their nut back, you know?
What are you going to give away on this
Right?
movie? I don't understand that. Well, it's good. I'm glad that it was profitable. This is a movie that I think is nice and contained. I think that it could really do well with a sequel also.
Yeah, I don't know. It would have to be a different family, though.
Oh, for sure. Not the same family.
Or just go ahead and put spoiler alert out there already, because who knows when we'll start giving
Yeah.
stuff away. But just I love the endings. One of the things I love the most about it, it's like a sad, dark ending. Like the family ends up trapped in a snow globe, and that moment where it seems like where Max woke up from a dream and everything's fine, and then he sees the bell, and the family members each see it one by one, and you see the like trauma come back into their faces, like they all remember they just went through something terrible. It's such a great way to end that film.
Yeah, it really is. And it's like, for them, it's like, is it almost paradise for them though? Because now they actually get along, and they can just relive Christmas morning, I guess, for eternity. Eesh, maybe not.
Yeah, that sounds like a bummer, honestly.
That does sound like a bummer.
Yeah.
Eek. Nothing's open.
Jesus
You
Christ.
can't even go like spend your Christmas gift cards.
No.
What a bummer.
Hell
what
no.
a waste.
I'm good on that.
Maybe we should get into a little bit of a plot synopsis before we start talking about the end too.
That makes sense.
We're
doing this non-linear style.
Yeah. Tarantino style. So for a synopsis for Krampus 2015, we have a young boy, Max, a small part of a big family with Adam Scott as his dad, Toni Collette as his mom, kid number 2 as his sister. And you have his family coming over, who is sisters with his mom, Toni Collette, joined by marriage. We got Uncle Howie, played by David Koechner, and the 3 kids, which it really seems like they just have 2, and a third is kind of a mistake. The old Augustus Gloop one.
Yeah.
He
seems like leftovers.
Yeah, he in a lot of the fashions of
that's right. 4 kids, because they have the baby too.
Oh gosh, that's right. We forgot.
To be
about
fair
that.
though, they forget the baby in the car.
Yeah, I forgot the baby existed. So they do have the baby. The baby is on Max's side. So they also have their German grandmother, an integral part of the story. Because she does speak English, she just doesn't want to do it.
Yes. Much like many grandmothers knowing English but not wanting to speak it.
So she is playing the mysterious old woman giving, little diatribes here and there and, mysterious little leavings for the family. Anyways, classic McAllister household 2 days before Christmas. It's rambunctious. Things are crazy. Cousins are smacking into each other, hating each other. And it comes down to one of the cousins discovering Max's Christmas letter because Max still believes in Santa Claus. They start bullying him for it. And really, the letter is nothing but goodwill towards the rest of his family. So it ends up turning on them with egg on their face.
Yeah, he really doesn't ask for anything tangible at all.
He wants his family to be closer.
Yeah.
Which is like totally unbelievable. I mean, come on. I was 9 years old. I wasn't thinking about my family.
You're a bit of a though, to be fair.
I am. That's fair enough. I did want like some Street Sharks action figures.
Well, I mean, Street Sharks are pretty jawsome. You can't argue with that.
Nice, dude. Anyway, so they throw the letter in his face and he ends up just tearing the letter up instead of sending it out to Santa Claus as he would normally.
Yes.
The pieces.
Which, I mean, that letter was going nowhere. He didn't even have a zip code on it.
It's true. I wonder what they do with those.
Just chuck them in the trash, I bet.
You think so? I think they really do. I don't know. If you're a postal worker, let us know what you do with unstamped Santa letters.
Yeah. What do you do with those?
I bet some guy has just like a pile in his apartment somewhere.
Dude, some weird dude with a Santa Claus like complex. Yeah.
Now that's a movie. Anyway, so he casts his fate quite literally to the wind, and it begins the series of a blizzard where Krampus, the dark sister spirit person of old Saint Nicholas, comes to reap the benefits of their sorrow.
Yeah.
Madness ensues.
Madness definitely ensues. Question. At this point in the film where they like wake up and everything's blizzard, do you think Krampus came and took everybody in their surrounding area?
I was
or
wondering
do you
about
think
that.
they're already like in Snow Globe land?
Oh, like as soon
like they're already in
Oh.
Krampus's like.
No. I think that it was real world until about the end.
Until the very end.
But I do think that is a good question, is if all the neighbors around were completely just taken out by all the toy demons or something, or the
they
elves.
just kill those guys.
Yeah, because
they
really
turned.
quick.
I assumed that they turned them into the snowmen because the snowmen keep popping up.
Yeah, I think the victims did end up turning into the snowmen. I was wondering about that, but there is that like kind of line that they say where like a lot of them are out of town.
Yeah,
so that could be it too. But I'm sure there was some people who were killed.
because there's like the DHS driver, he's dead. DHL
100% DHL
driver, he's dead.
100% dead.
The snowplow guys I bet are dead too. And then there's the older sister's boyfriend and his family. They were like there present and then they're just gone. Their house was totally wrecked.
That's right. It's funny how we like lose contact with the sister completely. I thought that she came back for like a certain part of the film, but
Nah, not till the very
pretty
end.
much gone.
Yeah.
That was interesting. I guess it really does just center around this family and in particular. So they've, the blizzard comes, it cuts out all the power, all the phone lines. All they have for heat is their fireplace, and everyone's kind of shrugging it off as a Midwestern blizzard.
He's making hot cocoa for everybody.
Yeah, Yeah, Omi. Yeah, that's cute. But it comes down to figuring out that, hey, this is a very intense blizzard. Very heavy snow. I don't know if we should let our teenage daughter just go out into it. Oh, she'll be fine.
Yeah, Adam Scott. It's fine.
And that was a weird thing.
Also, like Tony Collette freaking out over the blizzard. Like, I don't understand. Nobody saw it coming. Nobody saw a little blip on the radar. And Adam Scott's just like, you know what? Well, when the phone lines come back on, we'll call the weather people and yell at them. But until then, you got to chill out.
Yeah, very clear that Max's parents, Adam Scott and Tony Collette, have had a rocky relationship thus far. It's not, they don't really love each other at this point.
There's at least a rift there. They don't love each other as much as they used to. No, yeah, who knows why.
They don't really go into why, but they don't really necessarily need a reason at some point.
Maybe Adam Scott wasted too much of their money on like Pornhub Premium. Maybe Tony Collette did. Who knows? I'm not here to point fingers.
Maybe he's part of Dollar Shave Club and too many monthly subscriptions.
She's like, you don't even grow facial hair that big.
Maybe he bought too many Manscaped.
Too many lawn trimmers.
Yeah, the lawn trimmers.
He's got the 1.0, the 2.0, the 3.0, the new 4.0.
And he doesn't sell the rest. He just keeps them.
Yeah, they just collect space.
That's a problem. It's a problem. And it's a real problem that America refuses to face. Yeah, so they realize that someone's going to have to go out into this blizzard and figure something out because they're going to run out of food pretty quick. Doesn't look like it's letting up anytime soon. And there's some creepy snowmen that just keep popping up out of nowhere. Meanwhile, spooky, grimacing grandma, Omi, she continues to give ominous messages in German, to which their English-speaking family and only two, seemingly just Max and Adam Scott, can interpret from German.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like Tony Collette put in the effort to learn any
Which
German.
Is weird, considering that Max knows.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's a young kid.
Max seems like a pretty sweet kid, though. Yeah.
Smart. Yeah. He can pick it up real quick. Oma, or Omi, tells about a moment in her childhood, which I'm assuming is in Germany, was like back in it seems like post-World War II. It seems like.
That's what it seemed like.
Yeah.
Like during when Germany's just being pounded by the appeasement, like they're just totally wrecked.
Well, that, and then yeah, exactly. Oh, the appeasement, like you're saying, with reparations and all that. So Germany is economically wrecked, and not not with the apostrophe wrecked.
Yeah, not apostrophe wrecked. Wrecked with the W.
Literally wrecked. So that it looks like food rations were tight, and really what it was she wished for. What did she wish for? She wished for there to be like everyone to be gone in the village because they were acting like savages. I guess, right?
Yeah, and I love that little animated scene too. I love the like art style of it. It's pretty dope. Yeah,
we get a really cool little stop motion, almost Coraline-esque.
Yeah.
Rendition.
Or it reminds me a lot of the because it's also Coraline-esque. The animation for the story of the Deathly Hallows in Harry Potter.
Oh yeah, kind of like a shadow.
Of the three brothers.
Yeah, like a shadow box kind of thing.
Yeah.
And which is cool because I think the creature effects. I don't know if I doubt that the stop motion part was also from Weta Workshop, but knowing that the creature effects were from Weta is like very vindicating because it's like this is too good. This is done really, really well, and Weta Workshop knows how to kill it.
Yeah, they do. It's the same, at least the heads of the animation visual effects team. It's the same two dudes who did the Planet of the Apes prequels, that whole trilogy. Oh. The writing team too, which I thought was funny. The writing and directing team, they all worked together on 2019's Godzilla.
Nice.
And Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah, Michael Dougherty is the one behind Godzilla versus Kong. And I think he might have, 2019 Godzilla. Also, so where Oma talks about it, she says that Krampus took everyone, but left her with a bell. Actually gave her a nice little wink before he did it too.
Ting.
Ting. Just letting you know, like, thanks for the tip, kid. Here you go. Live with your sorrow forever. So we have to assume that she led a somewhat normal life at some point and immigrated to the U.S.
Yeah, assumedly.
And at this point, everyone just writes her off because they're like, okay, well, there's no way that this creepy stuff is happening out there. This just obviously, a Russian invasion or something.
Especially David Koechner's character. He has no patience for it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's letting loose.
He's like, we are in an emergency situation. We don't have time to listen to grandma's bullcrap.
Which they decide to go out. And, him and Adam Scott got to be the manly men and go. I think they're trying to find the daughter, right?
Yeah, they go out to find the daughter first. That's the initial attempt. For those of you unfamiliar with Krampus, David Koechner's character is like your drunk, like overtly racist uncle. He definitely would have stormed the Capitol.
Yeah, he's a right-winger
sure.
guy.
Yeah.
With a large diesel truck.
Like the FBI is currently looking for him for his involvement with January 6th.
And he has a truck named Lucinda.
Yeah, that always makes me laugh because they make several mentions to like that family's financial struggles, but he's driving like an H2 Hummer, just like balled out. He's got a special compartment for his guns.
Of course he does.
Yeah.
Also, apparently wishes that his daughters were his sons.
Yeah, and that comes across.
Teaches them to wrestle and whatnot. Not that that's, anything like that, but it's very clear that he clearly wanted sons.
He kept trying until he got a broken one.
Yeah, unfortunately. Poor Augustus Gloop, too. So we get back to them going out into the snow, and they're confronted by the creatures, or the elves, where I say.
Yeah, I assume it's like the elves. It's definitely one of Santa's little helpers.
Yeah.
Or Krampus's little helpers.
I was like, don't defame Santa's helpers like that.
Sorry, Santa's helpers.
Yeah, I love the creepy renditions of Santa's helpers that there are in Krampus, going through the creatures bit by bit. I mean, we've got the gingerbread creatures, which is
some of my all-time favorites. Yeah,
super fun.
They're weird little. They have the tiny little like chipmunky voice. You know what I mean?
Yep. It sound like little goblins.
Screams and stuff. Ah!
Yeah, they're cute, and they work. And I love that how they get Augustus Gloop with the little hook coming out of the the fireplace. So we've also got that. We've got the terrifying, absolutely horrifying Jack-in-the-Box snake, which is just mother of God.
Yeah, I love the way
nightmares.
the bottom jaw splits in two. It's got a very like creature aesthetic to it.
Yeah,
the
really great
eyes.
Practical effect on that.
Yeah,
and also really cool that they have not only that, but I know that they had a human in for the hands interaction and stuff, so it just makes it just that much more creepy. That's a really good creature. We also have the bear with a ton of teeth.
Yes.
A little stuffed teddy bear, which is fun. Kind of looked like it was like Five Nights at Freddy's kind of.
Very similar vibe.
Very cool. And then we also, the Death Angel. That was something else.
The Death Angel. The Death Angel is my, maybe third favorite. Because the gingerbread men are just cute and they're so impish. You got to love them. The Jack-in-the-Box is horrifying, but the angel, she's grotesque.
It's creepy.
Yeah.
I love the way they film her too is just so shaky cam and just such quick cuts that it makes it so much creepier.
I love when she hits him with the long tongue.
Yeah. There's quite a lot of tongue action in this movie now that I think about it.
More tongue than you would think going into it.
Yep. I really enjoyed the elf design. I really like that they've got like this interesting Victorian puppet worn look to it, that they're all wearing masks, so you don't really know what's underneath, and they're all very goblin-y themselves as well.
And they're individualized, which I like. They all have a different design.
Yeah,
Krampus is down to let them express themselves.
Yeah, he's a down dude.
So at least we know Krampus isn't a fascist. So that's cool.
Well, yeah. He doesn't make them all appear as one. He lets them have their individuality. It seems like it's the same with all the other creatures, essentially, too.
If you're going to be an evil elf, you might as well have some fun with it.
Yeah. We also forgot to mention the first time that Krampus comes on screen, which is when he is chasing the daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Which is really, really cool. You get to see this giant hulking figure with big old ram horns.
Yes.
In the snowy distance. Really cool. You also hear like what I thought was a painful Sasquatch yell.
Yeah.
Row.
Yeah, it sounds like Sasquatch stubbed his toe.
It's a bit weird. I was like, that's an interesting howl. It doesn't seem devious in any way. It definitely seems more animalistic.
He's like yearning for pain.
Oh, he's like yearning.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can all sympathize with that.
Hey.
So after they venture out and the creatures come to attack them at the house, they actually get away with stealing the baby.
Yeah, because Uncle Buck, no, not Uncle Buck.
How dare you?
Uncle Howie and Dad, I can't remember his name, like the character's name. It's just
Adam Scott.
Yeah, Adam Scott. They run back to the house.
Bob or something.
Adam Scott's trying to remain calm, like not to incite panic, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
Howie's just kind of like, lock all the doors, batten down. We gotta call the National Guard. He's kind of losing it because he gets tossed around in a kind of like Jaws-esque moment, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, he gets bit
Or
by like
Tremors.
the sand
It kind of
snake
made me
or
think of
something.
Tremors a little bit.
Whatever's under the snow that they don't show.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I like that bit
is
of
cool.
mystery. Yeah, so then the driving force is let's find the baby. We have to find the baby.
Yeah.
Because then Aunt Conchetta or whatever her name is, Aunt Dorothy, she gets stolen by the elves too.
Or do they steal Howie first?
I don't think so.
They don't know. Yeah, Howie gets taken first
How he gets
because they're asleep at night, and then they come down with a little anchor. Then that's the first time Tony Collette sees any of the creatures.
and then Augustus Gloop gets taken.
Yeah, they take Augustus Gloop through the chimney. They can't stop that. The baby doesn't get taken till the elves break in.
That's right.
Till they bust through the door.
Aunt Dorothy is about to finish off the snake,
Mm-hmm.
and then she gets taken,
Yes.
and then the baby gets taken.
Yes. The elves kick in the window like SEAL Team 6,
Pretty
just
cool.
busting through. Yeah.
And then Uncle Howie also gets taken, I think.
Mm-hmm. But even before that, like Augustus Gloop gets taken. They run around the house fighting little gingerbread men and stuff like that. They find the extra gifts that were left off, not by the DHL guy,
that is very
up in the
cool.
attic. And that's when one of the sisters gets taken.
Yes.
From one of the sister cousins.
Into the snake gift thing.
Yes.
The Jack in the Box.
That's when we meet our other friends, the teddy bear and
Death
the
Angel.
Death Angel.
Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. I mean, alas, this leads Max and his dad to have to venture out and pretty much save
Everybody.
everyone. Actually, everyone has to leave because Oma seals off the front door once everyone's outside, even though, like we were saying, a little bit of a goof is that there's a giant hole in the living room in which everyone could get back into the house
Yes.
if they wanted to. But it's a valiant effort. She decides to face off with Krampus in some way that she can. She shows him the bell and he's just like, ooh, let me lick you. And then he licks her.
We get the nice close-up shot of Krampus's face and his beard and his super clean teeth for an ancient
Very
being
clean.
hell-bent on terror. He's got great dental hygiene.
It's an interesting design. No expressive face whatsoever. It's just like warped. All you can see is like his goat eyes in the back there, which is really cool. Really
Yeah.
cool. So he realizes who she is and opens up his bag of gifts to her, to which Grace got to see a twisted nutcracker just come out and get Oma too, right? Fantastic. We all love it. So Omi dies. She gets taken.
Dead.
And this leads to everyone pretty much making a run for it for the snowplow.
Yeah, by the time they're running for the snowplow, it's just Adam Scott, Tony Collette's sister, one of the sister cousins, and little Maxie. Little Maxie Pat, as his cousins affectionately call him.
Oh, sad. Yeah, and everyone's getting picked off one by one in a very sad way, either by the snow snakes or by the elves or whatever is else out there. It gets to Max, and who else is in the snowplow with them? Just one of the other cousins.
One of the other
right?
cousins. I
Yeah.
can't remember their names. Who cares?
There's like Jordy
really? Yeah.
and one other one. I can't remember her name. Anyways, then they both get apprehended, and it's Max essentially playing what Omi's role was when she was young, where like Krampus is pretty much just like, here's your bell, your wish came true. Also, I might just drop you into this fiery pit of hell.
Yeah, I love that scene where he goes to confront Krampus, and he's just like, take it all back, like Like I just wanted everybody to be happy, take me instead. And he just kind of laughs and then yeets the girl cousin into the little volcano.
Yeah, that
is
is crazy.
He's like, "What, you jerk?" And then Max gets yeeted too. The way he falls, it reminds me a lot of the opening scene in Drag Me to Hell, where little boy gets dragged into hell.
I like that. I like how he has an unforgiving laugh too. He's just like, whoa, like I care.
No, I just wanted you to see them die first. You're going to.
So yeah, he falls into a fiery pit of abyss.
Yeah.
And we wake up. Max wakes up. Where are we? Everything looks normal. And it's a beautiful wintry Christmas morning. Everyone's down in the living room. Max makes his way down, and everyone's having cheerful, wonderful interactions with each other.
Yeah.
Even Aunt Dorothy, that lush. And it just seems too good to be true, and they sit down.
What is that line she has? She's like, "Oh my goodness, I haven't been this hungover since the Pope died."
That is a weird one
That
to
is
say.
a weird one.
So they all sit down on the couch, and I think Max opens up a gift, and it is the Krampus bell.
Yeah.
Right?
Krampus is he's got style. He's got to leave his calling card behind.
Wet bandit style.
Yeah.
And everyone slowly on the couch starts to remember everything. And it's a zoom out to realizing that they're in Snow Globe.
In Krampus's like weird little warehouse workshop deal.
Very
full of families.
Very Jeepers Creepers-esque
Yeah.
in a way, without all the weird stuff attached to it.
Oof.
We're going to forget about that. But yeah, it's cool. You see that there's a multitude of snow globes. So it's probably all the people who have made Krampus wishes for eons.
Yeah, I wonder if those just get written off in the real world as family annihilations, like people assume, or like maybe he leaves maybe that's just their souls and he leaves their bodies all strewn about, much like the Covina Massacre.
I was just going to say, I'll bet you that there's a West Covina Massacre snow globe in there.
Yeah, that family is just trapped in the snow globe.
How wonderful. We managed to work in another West Covina Massacre
Yeah.
another year.
Sorry you weren't here for that live, David. I know how much you love hearing about the Covina Massacre, which is a massacre that occurred in West Covina, a suburb just outside of Los Angeles, California.
Staying on brand, Frank. I like it.
Yep.
I like it. So we have some facts about this movie. A fantastic movie. I love movies that end on a downer.
Yeah.
I love it, just like The Mist. And
Ooh.
you know what I mean? Is those ones that are just like, oh, wait, there ain't no happy endings here, pal.
The Mist is decidedly sadder than this one because, like the sad part about The Mist is everyone's dead and he's left to like deal with it. At least they're together at the end of this movie.
That's true.
They're all trapped together.
And somewhat alive.
Yeah.
Like, not like The Mist where everyone is legitimately dead.
Actually dead.
And not coming back. And you killed your son.
Whoops.
Whoops, guy. Yeah, so what do you got, Frank? You got any fun facts on here?
I busted through most of them as we were going through here. Just the deal about the animation team, second in the box office. There's one little snip that I thought was kind of interesting. When we sat down to do research for this one, not a lot of information out
Very difficult
about
to
this
find
movie.
Yeah.
I was telling Danny when I got here, like I was trying to check out a couple of interviews, and there's this one with Adam Scott and Toni Collette, and the interview is just asking him like, "Well, what's the creepiest toy you ever got for Christmas?" Like, dude, I don't give a shit. Like,
yeah, why would we care about that?
Why would anybody care about this? But it is what it is. The director Doherty had always wanted to do a scary Christmas movie, but the idea did not take form until his friend sent him an e-card featuring Krampus, which was, according to him, just love at first sight. Although this, according to Doherty, happened in the ancient times of the internet, which Danny and I are quite familiar with. The project would not be fleshed out until 2011, at which point he would team up with Shields and Casey, the rest of the writing team.
Nice.
Yeah.
I did see something that the original film release of this was going to be November 25th, but it was pushed back to December 4th.
Yes.
To coincide with Krampusnacht.
Ooh.
Which is a traditional Austrian festival held on December 5th.
It's a good thing they did that for an American market who had no idea about this.
Who Krampus is.
Yeah.
The only inkling we had to what Krampus was the Bellschnickel from the Office, of whether anyone was admirable or impish.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, as we say, Krampus.
You know what? I knew about Krampus from a Cracked article that I read in high school.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Huh. Krampus is a huge part of Austrian and German folklore. And actually, in Austria and southern Germany, they have Krampus runs, much like a Christmas pub crawl where you dress up as jolly old St. Nicholas and get drunk from pub to pub. Actually, these people dress up as Krampus and parade through the cities and scare children. So metal.
Damn, that sounds like fun.
That's just so metal.
So does that mean that Arnold Schwarzenegger grew up afraid of the Krampus?
I wonder. If I ever get to meet him, I'm going to ask him, do you believe in Krampus? He will.
You'll see the terrified look in his eye.
Like we were saying about Krampus's design, the final design was distilled from various postcards and illustrations of the creature over the years, probably from one of the ones that Michael Dougherty received.
Yeah. It's like, I printed out this e-card that my friend sent me.
Yeah, and he was saying that like he's more of Santa Claus's shadow versus just a plain evil being.
Ooh.
In that he has like a devious tricksterness about him.
That makes sense.
Kind of like the Belschnickel.
Yeah.
But I mean, that makes sense, like how we were talking about, like he loves playing with his prey in a way.
The terror is part of it for it. He's a process killer, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. And he really relishes in making kids punish.
Yeah.
Let's see. The opening sequence was actually shot on location in a single day at a department store in New Zealand.
Oh.
Why in New Zealand?
Weird.
Yeah, that is weird. It does have a really good opening sequence now that I think about it. It's just kind of like showcasing American greed, even though it was in New Zealand. But, you know, it's basically a Black Friday store opening, and we get to see people just acting impish.
Trampling over each other. There's like a couple getting tased, which is really satisfying. Love seeing somebody get tased.
Yeah, it's a great opening. It actually reminds me quite a lot of a echo back to Jingle All the Way, which was fantastic. Another one of my favorites every year.
When they're all chasing the little balls.
They purposely made the point of this film's first act being strictly a Christmas movie before they take the turn towards being a horror and a dark fantasy.
Yeah.
And it plays off just well.
Yeah, because there's the mood before the blizzard and after the blizzard. They're both exactly split. The like main drama in the first chunk of the movie is just like, oh, we got to spend the holidays with their family. I hate these people.
And I think if anything, like a good cinematography note that I noticed is, and you probably noticed this too, but like in the beginning,
definitely didn't.
Oh, well, it's because you're dumb. But in the beginning, let me explain this to you. In the beginning, like they have, like they said, bright colors. You know, it's a Christmas movie. They've got even from the store that they're showing up to the family's house when they're having like a nice Christmas dinner, and everyone's wearing bright clothing. Obviously, the mood and the tone shifts when the blizzard comes in. Everything gets dark. But then when I like that they pull the Home Alone in that when everything seems to be better, when they wake up in the snow globe or things are kind of surreal, they do the soft lighting thing where everything kind of blends. You know what I'm saying? They like open the exposure a little bit so that everything...
It looks Hallmarky. Like It looks like a Hallmark Channel thing.
Yeah, like things get out of focus a bit with like candlelight and daylight and stuff like that. I love that they do that. It's a very good nostalgia-y Christmas moment.
Yeah, it's nice.
And that's why I love this movie too. It is a Christmas movie.
100%. Yeah, I think the first time we talked about this was like favorite Christmas movies or something. David talked about it on the channel before, like briefly. But it's definitely not a faux Christmas movie. It is 100% a Christmas movie.
No, this is not like a Die Hard incident or something that just coincidentally happens to be around Christmas. No, this is... And if anything, this is one of the only real successful Krampus movies I have in my mind other than Rare Exports.
Ooh, yeah. And Rare Exports isn't even Krampus.
I don't think it is. I think it is
Krampus.
Santa Claus.
Yeah, it is Santa Claus.
Yeah. It is the only Krampus movie that is quite successful. And good on it for that. It's awesome. It's awesome. I'm glad it showed the Western world more of Krampus.
Yeah, that's what we need. More Krampus.
Yeah. Kids would have behaved a little bit better. Maybe if they knew Krampus was around.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. You never know.
Well, I think that wraps it up for Krampus. I mean, I would say, beyond a shadow of a doubt, great movie. Add it to your rotation. You'll enjoy it. You're going to like the way you look. I guarantee it.
Disclaimer: we don't offer like a refund or anything if you don't enjoy it. Just leave a comment or something. Let us know.
It's a false guarantee.
Yep.
But that's gonna move us on over to oh, it's been a while.
yeah, I hadn't even thought about that. It has been a minute since we've done a legit. Oh, that's interesting. But that's not our fault. There hasn't been a lot of interesting movie.
It's the world's fault, really.
Yeah, it's the world's fault, really. But today, Danny, I got a special treat for you and I, and I'm sure other people will be excited about it too.
What you got?
I've got an article from Collider.com. Reno 911. It's a wonderful heist. Trailer shows what life would be like without Lieutenant Dangle. Yes. Weird. Yeah, they're doing a nice little Christmas special, Danny.
It's going to be a Christmas special.
Yeah, they're doing a Christmas special.
Okay.
At the time of this podcast release, it would have just come out like yesterday.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
So direct to streaming?
Yeah, direct to... Well, no, it'll be on Comedy Central.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Paramount Plus will have it.
Yes, correct.
Very nice.
Lieutenant Dangle and his hot pants are back on Comedy Central just in time for the holidays. A new trailer for the holiday special Reno 911, It's a Wonderful Heist, gathers the whole Reno Sheriff's Department for an absurd holiday investigation, featuring loads of guests and a visit from a special Christmas angel. I wonder who it will be. How exciting. Through his visitor, Dangle will see what life in Reno would be like if he had never been born. The feature-length special airs on Comedy Central on Saturday, December 3rd.
This is cool. So it's kind of like a Ghost of Christmas Past kind of thing that they're doing. That's cool. I was wondering when I heard the title and you said Lieutenant Dangle, I was wondering if it was like an alternate universe where the whole Reno 911 crew were essentially like Ocean's 11 or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's cool. That sounds interesting. I mean, I always love a new Reno 911. Fantastic. Hilarious. Always watch Reno 911. It's amazing.
Yeah, so essentially they're going to pick it up with Dangle being at a low point. He's going to wish he was never born. They'll do an It's a Wonderful Life thing. It'll be fantastic. You get the bones of the story. I don't have to get too much into that, but the entire cast is coming back. So all your favorites will be there, including Nick Swartzen as Super Terry.
Nice.
He'll slap on those roller skates again. But I just thought that was really exciting. I can't wait to see it. I haven't watched the trailer yet, but oh boy.
That leads us to a production note. At some point, we need to do the Reno 911 movie because that movie is hilarious.
Dude, I'm down.
You heard it here first. We're going to do it at some point.
Love me some Reno 911.
That is a very interesting fact, Frank. I did not know that. And boy, it just makes my holiday sound even better. Yeah,
I didn't know it was something that was happening either. I was pretty excited. Releases on Comedy Central December 4th.
Lovely. Be sure to check that out.
Check it out.
And that is going to take us on over to Character Limit Extended.
Nice.
The segment where we talk a little bit about the movie we saw. Whatever.
Nailed it.
Holy smokes!
It's about where we talked about our most recent Character Limit Exceeded, which was The Silence of the Lambs.
Oh boy, oh boy.
What a great time. I had an amazing time. I had the book report, though. Frank had the least, so we're going to let him start.
Yes, that is correct. I had the Boss Show. Love the Hannibal film franchise as a whole. This isn't my favorite in there. Like I always lean towards Red Dragon the most. Red Dragon the most. Hannibal the second.
Hannibal the second?
No, Silence of the Lambs the second. Hannibal third, and then Hannibal Rising. Hannibal Rising is the one I've seen the least.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Doesn't have Anthony Hopkins. He's your bread and butter. He's the main course, if you will. But yeah, Silence of the Lambs, fantastic. There's nothing wrong with Silence of the Lambs.
No, not at all.
It kicked off everything. You know what I mean? The series too, Hannibal. Oh, delectable. Every morsel.
I didn't get a chance to really watch it.
That's a shame.
I hear it's good, but then I watched a couple episodes and it didn't really grab me as much as Hannibal would if you saw my beautiful, delicious face just ready for a biting. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true. That's a great way to put that. But yeah, every time I rewatch Silence of the Lambs, it's just as exciting. Still gets the blood pumping. Knowing all the twists and turns doesn't take anything away from it. I feel like you pick up more every time you watch it.
That's 100% true. It had been a minute since I watched it. I still remembered it being great, and it's actually exceeded my expectations of being just that great. It flows. It does not feel like 2 hours long or whatever it is.
There's no way.
I mean, I love that a lot of the liberties taken for the film were not from the book. There was a lot of extrapolation for the film, and another instance of the movie exceeding that its source material, excelling past it, and it was, I mean, awesome. I mean, they're like classic, iconic performances that you can never recreate, I feel like, and that's probably why the Hannibal series of films, I guess you would say, saga, suffers from that a bit, especially if they lose Anthony Hopkins and stuff, you know. But I do love Red Dragon. I have seen Red Dragon. I love Edward Norton, and it is fantastic. And Ray Fiennes is also in Red Dragon, right?
Yes, he is the Red Dragon.
Just fantastic. Gotta love it. I mean, I can't recommend it enough. This movie is like an A+ every time. It is a masterclass of suspenseful filmmaking.
Yeah, it's I think suspense is the biggest note that it hits, you know what I mean? It is like one long build. You get like a little bit of horror. I mean, a little bit. The scariest part is the thought of getting thwacked in the face with semen.
With Miggs.
Yeah, with Miggs' semen.
I mean, it's really cool how you can introduce a character like Hannibal and barely give him any background, and it's still sufficient enough to make him scary. But not the main focal point of the movie. You know what I mean? I mean, he is and he isn't in the same way. Like, they need him in order to catch the big bad that they're going for, but in reality, he's the big bad, you know?
Yeah, the biggest bad.
Yeah. And I love his little 5D chess playing. It's pretty great. I mean, he's always fantastic with that.
He's playing both sides so that he always comes out on top.
So that he comes out on top. Chardy McDennis style.
Exactly. Yeah, I love it. Especially like watching Silence of the Lambs. It inspired Grace and I to watch like Hannibal after that, and then of course Red Dragon like the next day.
Nice.
And it's really cool. They pick up some stuff in Red Dragon that like they only get little crumbs of in Silence of the Lambs, which I'm sure they didn't plan out that way. But like my favorite one of those being like he's already captured in Silence of the Lambs, and they talk about how he killed the flautist in the symphony.
Oh yeah.
And he did it as like a service to improve the sound of the symphony. And the opening to Red Dragon is like him watching the flautist, and just he's got that like it almost looks like he has a migraine. Like he's like, Jesus Christ, dude, you are ruining this experience for me. And then he feeds them to like the council or the symphony. Yeah, it's great.
I love it. I guess before we wrap up, I mean, we recommend it. That's just going to say that. But we're also going to do a little sidecar here. Frank and I had a pleasure of watching the latest movie from director Mark Millard, The Menu.
Yeah, we might as well mention The Menu since we're not doing it on the channel.
What a great film. I got to be honest. I really, really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, fun. It was a very fun watch. There was like a lot of entertainment. Found myself laughing a whole lot. Wasn't 100% what I expected going in, and I wasn't mad about it.
Yeah, I feel like they do market it as more of a horror or like a revenge film of some sort, or I don't know, like a mystery film or something.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be all these rich people being hunted on this island, and had that been what they gave us, I think I actually would have been a little bit disappointed.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really well done the way they did it.
Super clever movie. I mean, really well written. Awesome performances. Ray Fiennes just destroys this performance. So does Anya Taylor. Even Nicholas Hoult does a great job of just being like a totally aloof, weird dude who's like. But yes, the satirical part of it too is just so on point, and you won't really bat an eye for the entire runtime. It's really good. It really has a great rhythm, and I recommend it. Highly recommend it.
Really good. Like high society, which is nice.
100%. That's a good theater movie. 100%.
One of the things I like the most about it that I was thinking of afterwards, like spoiler alert, but you get the reveal of Anya Taylor, Joy's character, which normally in a horror movie would mean she's dead, being a sex worker and like having like a moral problem, you know what I mean? But it's actually what saves her. It like turns the like horror trope on its head.
Yeah, this is about the proletariat. Triumphing over the bourgeoisie.
Yes, let's eat the rich.
Quite
Let's
literally,
go.
actually.
Yes.
With a great ending scene. Just an awesome climax at the end of this thing. So go watch it. I think if it's still in theaters at this time, I would definitely recommend go watching it. If not, wait till it comes to streaming and then definitely watch it because it's fantastic.
Could also highly recommend the barbecue bacon burger at Alamo Draft House. My goodness, what a fantastic meal that was.
Welcome back to Uninformed Food Reviews.
Yes, movie adjacent because I ate it at the movie theater.
Well, Frank, that's going to lead us over to everyone's favorite real hypothetical battle situation called Peeps and Predicts, where we put two peeps, i.e. people, be it real or fictional,
Yeah,
in real or fictional predicaments and see who comes out on top.
true.
Now, our reigning champion from last episode would be Hannibal Lecter himself, having beat out Daemon Targaryen, who had quite a run.
Let's see who's facing off this week, Danny. This week, we have Anton Chigurh, who's this sugar character, versus Mark Anthony. All right, cool.
The singer.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think I wrote that one. I definitely have to clarify.
Thank you for the clarification, because I was thinking the historical figure.
Nope, definitely the
I was
singer.
like, that's weird.
Definitely
And
J-Lo's
you know what?
ex-husband.
Still weird. Still a weird pairing.
Who is more likely to give Anton Chigurh a better haircut? Anton Chigurh or Mark Anthony?
This is strange. I'd have to
That's
give
a
it
tough one.
to Mark Anthony because he would be able to like work the back and everything. You know,
Yeah.
Anton Chigurh would have to pull the trick with the mirror in front of him and behind him. And then you have that weird, like, you know, like all your actions are reversed. It always confuses the hell out of you. Now I'm speaking as somebody who like used to shave their own
I've done
head.
it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, for sure, Mark Anthony. This is a weird segment.
I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that it's very possible and highly likely that Anton Chigurh is the person who gave himself that haircut in the first time.
You know what? I'm having a hard time seeing that character sitting down at a hair salon. You know what I mean? That's probably why that haircut sucks so much.
That's what
'cause
I'm
he just-
saying. And I think even though Mark Anthony may or may not have stylist experience, I think he could probably pull off a better looking haircut than the bob.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think I mean I'd still have to go with Mark Anthony.
Mark Anthony it is. He will be your hero, baby. Was that him? I think
No,
that was
that's-
him.
that's
Is that
Enrique
Enrique
Iglesias.
Iglesias?
Yeah, yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Well, I don't know one Mark Anthony song, so take that. The next predicament being who is least likely to be punished by Krampus.
Least likely?
Yeah.
I bet you Mark Anthony's done way less devious things.
I mean,
I'm not
yeah.
saying he's totally innocent. I don't know him personally, and I'm also not condemning him, but I bet he hasn't at least killed as many people as Anton Chigurh has.
I'm pretty sure he's up in the triple digits for killing people.
Mark
at
Anthony?
least. No, yeah, killing people. Yeah, Anton Chigurh is a bad guy. Krampus might punish him. Most likely.
Definitely impish.
Impish. Mark Anthony, you're gonna move on to fight the man himself, Hannibal the Cannibal Lecter.
I'm dying to see what this predict is going to be, Danny.
Who is more likely to be Jennifer Lopez's next husband? Probably Hannibal Lecter. Who is more likely to be well acquainted with Nancy Reagan?
Hannibal Lecter.
Oh crap!
Yeah, because he's in high society. You know what I mean?
He is in high society and the age range.
Yeah, and the age range. It's
And-
hands down Hannibal Lecter.
Dang, the throat goat.
Like Mark Anthony might have met like at some weird point, some weird junction, but it's way more
Maybe.
likely that Hannibal Lecter would have been there.
And she would have been at a much older age when she met Mark Anthony. And I'm not saying that at that older age she couldn't still be the throat goat, but it's a little less likely.
Yeah, she probably didn't have as much enthusiasm in the goating of the throat at that point.
Yeah.
But I bet she could still throw down.
Yeah, it'd be like watching Jimmy Page at like a Led Zeppelin concert. Now, yes, he can play it, but is it with the same gusto? No, I don't think so.
Definitely not. There's no way I could have guessed that this is where we would end the podcast when we started. There's no way.
Two people who love eating sausage of different types.
Yes.
That means that Hannibal Lecter again wins as the Peep and Predict champion. He goes on to our next episode 66. 7.
This is currently 66. Yes. You are correct. Is he unbeatable? Probably not, because we mentioned how hard he is to beat on this episode. He'll probably be dethroned very soon.
You had deep throat on the mind there.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Thanks. Like, share, and subscribe. See you next week. Enjoy your Christmas, Krampus.
The holiday season has begun. God help us.